By a show of hands from the audience, has anyone ever gone back to their house after a long, hard day, drank some water, but considered that tastes a little funny, doesn't it? Drank it anyway and just went on with their day? Nice, nice. Me too. Let's go deeper into that. Let's go deeper into that. And we can go into an article done by January 2020, done by Tom Perkins, labeled Pain, Cancer, Death. Michigan families devastated by toxic chemicals in their water. And it follows the tragic passing of Joe Stout, which is Win Stout's spouse. And the now widow explains the idea of liver cancer living within Joe Stout's body. And that unfortunate event of his passing was done by years and years of consumption of compromised water. And we can look at that from perspective of compromised water now to the reoccurring battle for clean water in Michigan. And let's go even further with this. Going into another study from University of Wisconsin Stevens Point in November of 2023 this year. This month is a really good study of an investigation of 450 wells. And of those 450 wells, 71%, over almost three quarters being contaminated with a forever chemical. And what is that forever chemical? Known as PFAS. PFAS. And today I'll be telling you about it. PFAS and the forever chemical and how we've combat against this monstrosity of a chemical on the uprising over the past few years. And first, I'll be telling you about the compound itself. Second, I'll be telling you about exposure and what it does to our environment and the people. And third, I'll be telling you about our breaking technology to combat this beast. And let's move to our first point, talking about PFAS itself. And to bring a scientific definition to it, we'll call it per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. That sounds a little bit long. Let's just call it PFAS. And it's an umbrella term. An umbrella term meaning it can span across different parts. And PFAS is a man-made chemical. This isn't natural. And that's why we call it a forever chemical. It can't be properly digested by nature in itself. Through the environment of different plants, animals, ourselves, more importantly, we cannot digest that and properly envelop it into our bodies or even use it as waste. It's just going to build up constantly throughout our blood vessels. And that's what unfortunately happened to Joe Stout. And we can look at this with a bigger perspective of how it affects our daily lives. A study done in the Wisconsin Department of Health in September 14th of this year, again, shows that it appears in multiple avenues. Cleaning products, water-resistant fabrics, tents, jackets, boots, and non-stick cookware. Anything you cook in the kitchen, that little pan with the red dot in the middle, non-stick, that would contain PFAS. And let's bring it even closer towards us, towards even the little ones. Personal care, shampoo, dental floss, for the girlies, nail polish, eye makeup, all contain traces of PFAS in varying levels. And I would like to note that all of this really piles up over the past few years. Joe Stout is not just an outlier of what's been happening. PFAS has been existent through almost the Industrial Revolution. It's always been existent through our parents before us, and it'll only continue to affect us negatively. And that's why we turn to our second point, talking about symptoms within us humans, the environment, of PFAS. And we go to a scholarly journal by Joseph M. Braun titled Enhancing Regulations to Reduce Exposure to PFAS a federal regulation on the forever chemical. And keep in mind the big picture of a federal action, a countrywide consideration on all industrial processes to reduce the amount of PFAS. That is huge. That is how huge this problem is. And that's why we talk about PFAS being linked to varieties of cancer, not just one, but multiple avenues. We talk about liver disease through Joe Stelt, and things like impaired vaccine responses. That can really affect medical health going forward if doctors can't see symptoms correctly, or if the responses don't come in time, that they would worry for that. And I would like to also find that in the study, no levels of exposure to PFAS is considered safe. That's why we need to do something now. And how are we going to do something? Moving to our third point is where we are going to do something. And we find a break in our technology of using the sun. More importantly, something so free, yet not considered much by most scientists. In a study done by Nick Ogasa, through his title of Just 3 Ingredients Can Quickly Destroy Widely Used PFAS Forever Chemical, we use the sun in a mixture of a compound with PFAS and iodide, a table component for salt, and sulfite, a food preservative. So things like baking soda in your fridge, or multiple other things used through like food cans, or like pouches that are used to export things. Just a combination of those 3 elements, the iodide, the sulfite itself, and the PFAS, mixed in within a big substance like pack, let's say like a big batch. And we light down UV rays to pretty much disintegrate what that combination is. And the efficiency of this is honestly the stellar point. Comparing it to fungi that might take days, months to pretty much break down this waste. And to do this in mere minutes, hours, is a stellar find. And that's why it is so important to find this technology. And today I've told you about PFAS and the break-in technology against it. First, I've told you about the element itself. Second, I've told you about the exposure elements and what it can do to us. And third, I've told you about the revolutionary 3 elements, the surprising 3 elements to destroy PFAS. And now, with this presentation closing, I hope that I've convinced you to possibly put that glass down if it tastes a little funny.